Welcome to another episode of Off the Rack. I'm Sal.
And I'm Tiffany.
The only comic book review show that comes out on Monday nights around 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time that people clip out of context and post on terrible social media websites. I am so excited for this week because there are a bunch of books to talk about. I don't think that we can really dedicate all the time to every book that came out. I had to make some sacrifices. I don't know about you.
I guess I did. I actively chose to not read something.
That's fair. I also actively made decisions, but they were more Sophie's choices. They were decisions that I made where I'm like, I have to make sacrifice. I want to read this one book. You told me it was 53 pages. I'm like, well, that's just not going to happen.
Here's the thing. I know you will read it.
I will read it.
By like the end.
Yes.
Like not even by the next issue, but by the end of the book. Like
by the end of this episode, I will have read it.
No, I meant the run.
Yes. Oh, yeah, definitely. No, I'm going to read it by the end of the week.
Okay.
It's just that I have so much to get through because over on our sister channel, youtube.com/ComicPop, we are gearing up for the 600th episode of Back Issues, which is happening on Wednesday night. That's when we are shooting it, and Wednesday afternoon is when we release every episode of the show. So it's kind of interesting how like the episode will come out, and then we'll see how you guys reacted to it as we are gathering to film the following episode.
Yeah.
And the 600th episode is coming up. It's not really 600 episodes, because we have a couple of two-parters, a couple of reduxes, a couple episodes that I would like to delete. And according to the playlist we have, it's 600. Honestly, there are a couple episodes that are scattered throughout the multiverse. I know Mr. Sunday has one. It's one of my favorites. It's Morbius. Or rather, it was the Spider-Man episode that introduces Morbius.
Yeah.
The Comic Story channel had one or two. I actually ended up like taking those back and putting them up on our channel because I knew Benny wasn't going to copyright strike us.
Yeah, fair.
But that's all to say that I don't want to spend a lot of time dwelling on it, but I just wanted to honor or at least reference the fact that Benny the Comic Storian was our friend and we miss him deeply.
Yeah.
And we are wishing the absolute best to the people who knew him best and the people who loved him and his family and friends who are mourning at this time.
Yes.
Which does include ourselves, but not to the same degree, I think. I mean, I miss him a lot, but it's not, I'm not his wife.
Fair.
So the audience has been very kind, and we want to thank them for your kindness and for offering your condolences and your kind words in these past few days. And so thank you for that. And, I know that every bit of support and kindness that is directed towards those fine folks and about Benny are heard and appreciated.
Mm-hmm. So
thank you for being respectful and kind and supportive during this time. And hey, did we talk about this last week? Yeah, we did. Thanks for the birthday wishes. I had a birthday and I appreciate it.
You did.
So thanks for that as well.
I think we did.
We probably did.
Maybe. But then we celebrated your birthday.
And then we actually celebrated it. I mean, we celebrated it.
We celebrated it family.
Yeah, we did family and then we did a friend thing, which is cool.
Yes. We might do another friend thing.
Who knows?
If it doesn't rain.
Yeah. Birthdays are contingent entirely on the weather.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, in lieu of comic book news, because I'm sure there is, again, this is like the third or fourth week where I'm like, I'm sure there's something happening in the comic book world, but I don't care.
Right.
But I really want to talk about Predator, Killer of Killers.
Yeah, okay.
Because,
I mean, I think no matter what, even if there have been news, you've been like, look, there's news, but like, I want to talk about this.
Yeah, that's right.
Predator.
That's right.
It's your show.
It's Predator, and it's our show. And I want to talk about Predator, Killer of Killers, which dropped on Hulu or Disney Plus via Hulu, whatever. Just go to Hulu and watch this movie. Directed by Dan Trachtenberg. This is of course the animated secret Predator project that was revealed recently to coincide along with Predator Badlands, the live action Dan Trachtenberg Predator movie that's coming out within the same calendar year.
Yes.
This one, I had a little bit of confusion about it myself. Like when they announced the project, they said, there was going to be like some vignettes, and I assumed it was going to be like a Predator series, like the kind that I pitched years ago, where it's like, oh, just make 45-minute long Predator vignettes.
Yeah.
And just release like 5 of those a year and people will be satisfied. And they were like, no, 3 vignettes in one movie with a cohesive ending that ties them all together.
Right.
What? That was unexpected. I actually avoided a lot of other press about this movie, despite the fact that I got direct emails from the good people at
And a clip.
Hulu and Disney, and a clip, which I did share
Did
on
not get a clip.
the Dorkly Show This Week in Nerd History, which if you haven't watched that podcast, it comes out on Sunday nights. You should see it. It's a fun show, very different from this show. And my hosts, AJ and Mike, are just the funniest people. So definitely check out that show. But I shared that clip on that show. But yeah, man, great show, great movie, really fun. And I think I said it on social media. I was just like, this is near perfection. It's basically everything I have asked from the people who own the Predator franchise forever. Like since Predators, and even Predators has its dips in, quality and enthusiasm from me. But I do like Predators a lot. It's my third it was my third favorite Predator movie. But yeah, Predator Killer of Killers has quickly become my third or fourth favorite Predator movie, because unlike the folks who love Alien, of which there are many, and I am among them, but we are deeply divided based on Ridley Scott's weird obsession with Chariots of the Gods and the black goo.
Goo.
I'd rather it just be a cool horror movie about nihilism and aliens. But yeah, with Predator, there are more hits than misses. At least as far as I'm concerned. I like more Predator movies than I like Alien movies at this point.
Okay.
But yeah, Predator, Killer, Killers. Where does it stack in your ranking for Predator movies?
I guess it's 3.
Right? Third one? Yeah. I'd say so. For me, it goes Predator, Predator 2, and then it's either Prey or Killer of Killers.
Oh, I always forget about Prey.
I know, because Prey didn't come out in the theaters.
No, it's 4. It's 4 then.
Yeah, right?
It's 4.
Yeah,
because for me, it's Predator 2.
Yeah, it's Predator
Prey.
2, Predator, Prey, and then Predator, Killer of Killers. And then Predators, I assume. Because I like Predators as well.
It's fine. Yeah.
I dig it. We enjoyed it. We had a good time in the theater.
I barely remember anything from it.
It's good. It's good. It's solid. It's not what it wanted to be.
I just want to watch Danny Glover crawling around on buildings, apparently. That's what I'm looking for.
Then you must be a huge fan of the Lethal Weapon franchise.
I've never seen any of those movies.
No, there you go. But yeah, Predator, Killer of Killers.
Yeah, and they use, what word did they use?
Yautja. This, I don't remember if the Predator, the worst in the franchise, references the word Yautja. I think this is the first canon appearance of the word Yautja in a Predator film on screen, which changes my headcanon. I've been like, you can't firmly say that the official sanctioned term for the Predator is the Yautja, when in the true canon, which is film, it never appeared. Now it is. That's the end of it. It's over. And I've been saying it so like cavalierly with disdain and cynicism in my heart. Like whenever I refer to them, I'm doing it ironically.
Right.
But it happens that when you do that enough times, it eventually becomes earnest. This is the pink flamingo theory that our friends coined.
Yes, the pink flamingo theory entirely.
And I'm going to mention it on the show. The pink flamingo theory is this concept that our friends coined. This wonderful couple that they loved ironic humor. They loved kind of subversive references and hipster kind of jokes. And they had originally filled their home with all these kind of references and whatnot. And then they saw some pink flamingos, those plastic ones you put on the lawn, and they were like, oh my God, we should get those.
Yes.
But they realized that their enthusiasm for the pink flamingos, which had
come from a place of irony,
eventually became a place of earnest and genuine enthusiasm.
And they're like,
uh-oh, we need to change this. And so they didn't get the pink flamingos, but the pink flamingos were the litmus test.
Yes.
I guess Yautja is my test as well.
I every time I see that word, like I think it's not pronounced that way, but apparently I'm wrong.
Ben Percy says it's Yautja.
I always think it is Yautja.
Oh yeah, I also said Yautja. I said it for an entire episode of Predator versus Wolverine on Back Issues, which you should also like and subscribe and check out. But I said Yautja, and it was just my misunderstanding. It was my misremembering of what Ben Percy had told me, and I got a lot of comments that were like, "You are wrong," and I couldn't care less because I made up a silly ass word, but Yautja is the sanctioned
Well, I invite
term.
the Predators to come down and let us know.
Yeah, I will. I will physically fight a Predator if I'm wrong. Okay. Just let them come. Anyway.
Oh
But
my
it's
gosh.
Yautja. But you have to say it like this because it's Ben Percy. It's like the Yautja are coming. But yeah, Predator Killer Killers. 3 great stories. One about Vikings, one about ninjas / samurai, and the other one about a World War II fighter jet pilot. And they're awesome.
I feel like, and we were watching this. We had an opportunity to watch it. We were going to watch it with us, and I'm actually glad it didn't turn out that way because we were going to watch it on Thursday night or no Friday night, and then we ended up watching it Saturday with Ethan.
Yeah,
and I was like, this is great. Like I really like I love watching stuff with you, but like having Ethan in the room as well.
Oh yeah, him
hilarious.
Being like, what?
Yeah,
because he had no idea.
He had no idea. But having played Ghost of Tsushima, I was like that. Second one, I was like, okay, so you played
the second vignette. You know,
the second vignette.
The game of...
Yeah, no, the second vignette. You played Tsushima.
Yeah,
and yeah, I got it. I see it. I mean, like anyone and everyone had that like idea in their head of like the Predator versus
Samurai has been an idea since the Predator was invented.
But like that, like I don't know, there was a lot there that I was like, this is fun. But yeah, like some of the weaponry, just some of the idea of like the inner turmoil between these two different fighting styles, like all of it's there. Anyway.
Yeah. Ghosts of Yautja. Yautshima.
Yautshia.
Yautshija. Yautshija. Yeah, I mean, but it was great, wasn't it though? Like it was everything I wanted. I also love that they were like, we're not gonna even like in the Viking one, they were like, we're gonna show you that they're speaking their language, but also we're gonna have them speak English.
But then later,
and then in the Japan one, they're like, no.
Well, there wasn't like much of it.
We can get away with never showing any English in the Japan one because also you could feel like I kind of just wanted to make a whole movie about this.
Yeah, like I just wanted to do this, and
they were like, "There's no way," but that's okay because we can get more. Because I'm hopeful that this did very well. It looks, by the way, if you were a big fan of the animation stuff for the Spider-Verse movies, it looks a lot like that.
Yeah,
and that's great. I'm glad. I'm glad it doesn't look like in Kanto or something or whatever. Well, I'm actually not thinking of Encanto. I'm thinking of that other movie with the boys from Pixar. Everything looks like that now. They used to have a term. People don't like that term anymore.
Oh, the CalArts style?
Yeah, they don't say CalArts anymore because apparently it's offensive or something. So we don't talk about that. But like we don't talk about Bruno.
We don't talk about CalArts.
Oh. Yeah, exactly.
Are you thinking of Luca?
The Steven Universe style. Yes, Luca is what I'm thinking of. But yeah,
I got there. I don't even know if that is Pixar. Is that Disney or is that Pixar?
It is Pixar.
Oh, okay, I wasn't sure.
I think Luca was. I don't remember. Luca made me cry, so it has to be Pixar.
It did.
Yeah.
It was really cute.
Right. It was cute. Actually, I did like that movie. That was one of those movies where I'm like, oh, damn pandemic, you killed another one. Anyway, this is a great one. If you haven't already seen Predator Killer Killers, see it for the love of God. Add to the, I don't know, traffic. There's a whole episode of No Comic Required that we shot last Friday.
Yeah.
I didn't get it out in time, so it won't drop until probably this Sunday, maybe Tuesday. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But we talk a little bit about the idea of like, you used to be able to measure box office returns, and you can't on streaming, or at least
you can make up your own numbers.
You can make up your own numbers and just say things were successful or failures, and the only way you really know, or the general public will know, is if the movie doesn't get a sequel.
See, I hate that. Don't sequelize it just to make it seem like you're successful.
No,
just sequelize it because it's got more story to tell.
Yeah, well, and I think Predator Killer Killers has a million stories to tell. I could see any number of sequels to this,
sure.
Or just taking this concept and going for it. Because the other thing that I was really that I found unexpected was that third act. Because this movie could have easily just been 3 vignettes, and then a tease for
what's next,
for what could have happened in Act 3, and instead they're like, and I saw someone, I think I either saw it in reference to this or something else, where they basically just approached this from the perspective of, what if we don't get another chance?
Yeah, that's very fair. I mean, that's usually how really great movies happen.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, I like that a lot.
Yeah.
That animation style is not my favorite.
It is not my favorite. It's not what I want to see everything in, but I think it lent itself very well to Predator.
Right.
Or at least the story for Predator.
Yeah, no, for sure. Sure. Yeah, it's fine. Initially, I was like, okay.
Yeah, you were just
about halfway through, I'm like, Yeah, I don't know.
Around the samurai part.
No, I mean like halfway through even that first vignette, I was like, okay, I'm with it.
Yeah.
But like sometimes it just feels like they're like, well, I don't know what else to do, so we'll just
do Spider-Verse.
Bingo.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. That's the feeling I get whenever I see a trailer for something else that is in that style. I'm like, oh, you okay? Look, Spider-Verse won an Oscar. Avi Arad has an Oscar.
Yeah, I'm not saying that the animation style is bad.
No, but it also is just like, but what else is there? You know, what else could you try? You know,
right.
Explore that. You know, they could have easily made like the X-Men 97 show in the style of something else, you know, but they made something new and different, and people were excited. It was lauded for that, you know, innovation. You know, it doesn't, that X-Men 97 new season doesn't look anything like X-Men 90, X-Men from 94. It's 1,000 times better looking.
Yeah.
And by the way, we were all very excited with how X-Men looked back in the 90s.
Yes.
But you know, but they tried something, they innovated, and that's really great. And I'm with you on that concern.
And again, like
they were assuaged when the movie was so just thrilling, engaging, and well animated and well written, and you know, just a fun, cool movie. It just really worked.
Yeah,
and it wasn't asking too much.
It is interesting though, and I do wonder. I what is this rated? Is it
R?
R, okay. I did think it was really interesting. The style itself of the movie kind of downplays the intense violence of it.
It does, yeah, because there is intense violence.
Where I feel like because of the animation style that they were like, well, and we can show this type of thing without it like going too far.
That's right. No one's gonna mistake this for something else.
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, I also didn't find the violence, though gratuitous though it may be, to be gratuitous. Right. I was like, all right, yeah, like there's a great moment where a spear turns into a cleaver. It was awesome, and we had a great time, and we all talked about it for about 3 minutes after it happened.
And I will say, the second vignette I felt like had the strongest storytelling. But again, it did feel like a bit like a video game where it's just like watch the character, learn how the game works, and then play the actual game, which was amazing. But it's like you're watching a Predator film of any kind. You're bound to see a skull and a spine at some point.
Yeah, being removed.
Sometimes they'll be removed.
A fresh one.
Sometimes they're going to be attached to one another. Sometimes you're going to have a cape of them. It's just going to happen. That's what you signed up for.
Who shouted in our room about it? Where they were like, is that a cape of spines?
That was me.
Yay.
I wanted to know. All I could think of was honestly Mr. Sinister and how annoyed he'd be about how fabulous the Emperor Predator's cape was.
The Emperor Yautja.
Yeah, that obviously he'd be like, excuse me.
Yeah.
You have a big bone cape. I should have a bone cape. Where is the bone cape for me?
That's right.
No, I thought it was a really excellent movie. Yep. You know, obviously, this will be the style of this movie going forward in terms of animation. I think it works for that. And I just hope that studios overall don't just rely on that in order to like make a story that maybe isn't super strong look great. Whereas this was a great story and they just also happen to use the style, which is excellent, which is like, that's great.
Yes.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. No notes. No. Please make more. That's my note.
That's my note. That is my note.
Delighted.
There's just so many opportunities.
Yeah.
So many opportunities. You can jump around all over the place.
Right. And they don't have to be the same culmination, but also it does imply that like there's going to be maybe a sequel to another Predator movie.
Yes, I do think that this obviously calls into question if the other characters from previous Predator movies are now
in this.
Is Dutch there? Is Danny Glover? Because I can't actually remember what his character name is. It's just
I only remember Danny.
It's just Danny Glover, and
Danny, his partner, whose actor name I don't remember.
Yeah, this guy killed Danny. He's gone full. Damn right. That line lives in my brain rent free,
of course,
and will for all times.
Yeah,
for all time entirely.
Yeah. It's true.
It's so true.
So congratulations to the team. I hope it's successful. However the hell you measure that, but.
How does one measure success?
Measure success on
for a Predator. I mean, I know how you do it for a Predator.
But I mean, how do you measure the success of a franchise?
Yes,
especially like a one in deep dire need of a revamp. Though I think it successfully achieved that thanks to Prey, 1,000%. And now it's proven that it also has the versatility.
Yeah, I'm thrilled that Prey was the thing that kind of started paving the road again for people to have high expectations for this film franchise and this franchise overall. And I feel like right now, fans of this world and these characters, these like concept of characters,
right, exactly.
are like eating well in terms of like not only like movies and now like, you know, animated movies, but also in terms of comics as well. Where it's kind of a weirdly unprecedented time.
It is. I mean, it's unprecedented in terms of like there had been kind of like a given guaranteed Predator miniseries from Dark Horse back in the 90s into the 2000s, and you could kind of just hang your hat on it, but it wasn't like you could expect a Predator animated anthology or two great Predator sequels within the same 5-year span, and set in different time periods with perhaps other far-reaching implications of alien connections. I'm very excited about
that. Was like okay, let's admit, like you were watching that movie, but then you were also like, but can I also have my cake and eat it too? No, you were like, it wasn't enough that you had this amazing thing. You're like, but where is the xenomorph and how do we?
I thought maybe a xenomorph was in this. Well, I was also like, well, is that bone cape made of xenomorph tails? But it was not. It was bones, which is fine. Big spines.
Sorry, it's just regular spines.
Yeah.
It's just totally normal spines.
Exactly. But 10 out of 10. Congratulations to the team. I'm very excited for Predator, for more Predator. But before we get to the comics, I need to excuse my lovely and talented assistant, Tiffany, and instead welcome 2 other lovely and talented guests to today's episode, all the way from wherever they live. I'm sorry. Oh, good.
We're in Florida.
Florida, okay. But you guys, you're Jersey folk, right?
No, we're
neither.
No.
I used to own a comic book store. I used to co-own a comic book store in New Jersey with my ex-husband, and he still has it.
Yes, I used to shop in that comic book store. That's where I assumed that there was some level of connection. But
yes. So and we still get along. I mean, he's my ex. I still love him, but I don't want to be married to him.
That's totally fair. I completely understand. But folks, this is the first time we've had either of you on this channel, and I want to say just how excited and honored I am to have both of you here. It's such a delight. I have to admit something, Ms. Connor. I have your Dark Knight Returns statue, which I won in an auction, or rather a raffle. And I just want to say I see it every day, and I want to thank you for parting with it, because it brings my life joy every single day. So thank you.
I'm glad that it brings you joy. That it brings me joy knowing that it brings you joy.
But yes, not to be outdone, Jimmy. Thank you for coming on the show. I appreciate you joining us and being here. But we're here not just for me to geek out and talk about other random Jersey-related activities, but instead to talk about an unprecedented crossover. And I love a good crossover. And this is one that I could never have anticipated, expected, but I am picking this up nonetheless. Harley Quinn and Elvira, coming from Dynamite. Yes. Tell me how you two pulled this off.
Jimmy pulled it off.
I pulled nothing off. What are you talking about? We're talking to both DC and Dynamite, and they actually came to the idea because I think both of them were looking for something for Amanda and I to do, and this popped up, and they offered it to us, and we just started laughing. We said, "Well, this is a no-brainer," and Dynamite sort of stepped up and said, "Well, we'll put it out." Again, we're dealing with both DC and Dynamite. And Elvira.
And Cassandra.
Yeah, Cassandra. So we have a lot of bosses on this one. We definitely have a lot of editors. But that said, we gave them a pitch of an idea. Basically, it's a simple idea. It's just that Harley was sick during Halloween, and she couldn't appropriately, do Halloween like she wanted to do it. And she says she wants a makeover. She wants to do it. She wants to do over on it.
Yeah.
And she says, but we have to make it bigger, and it has to be better than anything I've ever done before. And she comes up with the idea. It's like, well, I'll just get Elvira to do the Halloween party with me. And meanwhile, Elvira is sort of like at a TV station in New Jersey, introducing the Saturday night late horror movies. And it goes from there. So stuff happens to her. They get put together, and then they have an insane adventure together. And we were able to not only use the supporting cast that we created in Harley, but we got to use some DC characters in the series as well. And it's 6 issues of madness. The art choice is split between I'm sorry, I'm running a blank on the artist's name.
Oh, Juan Samu.
Juan Samu.
Yeah.
Yeah, Juan and Amanda's doing artwork in it as well. So there's when you open up the book, they're both in there, and it's just our thing. If you read our older Harleys, then you know exactly what to expect. It's fun, it's sane, it's in continuity of what we've done before. So no matter what happens in the world of Harley, whenever we do Harley, it's in our continuity. So
right, that happened.
Yes, it happened. It's in. There's 3 omnibuses full of that continuity, and we're shooting for 4 at this point. But we're just having fun, and it's a little work on our end. It's a little heavy lifting because everybody has to be made happy, and
sure,
that's not always easy.
Oh yeah, especially when it has so many moving parts and 2 different publishing houses, not to mention Cassandra Peterson, and that influence as well. Have you had a chance to kind of like chat it up with her, and did she have any story and ideas?
Not lately. I mean,
not directly, because she goes over the script and then she gives us notes, right?
Okay.
And her notes aren't always what DC would love to see, because she has her tendency is towards a very adult humor, and
but DC is like, this is a PG-13 book.
Yeah, so there's a lot of push and shove going on, but that's normal
for
us.
Push and shove it. It's more like trying to do a tightrope walk in between Cassandra and in between DC. It's like, sure, okay, this one will like this, but that one won't like the same thing quite so much.
Yeah, we're in the end, we just try to write the story we want, and then we take the suggestions. I call them wonderful suggestions, and we push back where we have to, and she has some. She definitely likes to speak, like her dialogue is very much everything's an innuendo and everything's and then Harley's trying to navigate the story the way we write Harley. So and we try to ground it on some level as well, right? Because if it's too like wacky all the time, it doesn't. People feel. I'm a comic book person. I understand how that feels. It feels like a throwaway. So we're trying to navigate all these things at once, and I think we're succeeding on it. I mean, I think anybody who read the book before will get what we're doing. Anybody who never read the books are going to get who the characters are right away. And then Elvira fans who are going to be very pleased with it because we are. She is. We're trying to please her. And somebody Bansky wrote there farts in it. There are no farts in this comic.
not yet, anyway.
No, not
yet.
We haven't done it. I think that was covered. I think that was very well covered. We don't really need to go there.
I agree.
Yeah, I feel like I'd be just copying Joanne.
Yeah, I don't want to. We did a scratch and sniff comic years before, right? And we managed not to put a fart smell in it.
Not for lack of trying.
No, and this one the one that came out recently from Joanne Starry, that book just stunk. You opened up the bag and it just stunk. There was no rhyme or reason to they just dipped the comic in stink and they said, here you go, and put it in a bag. Ours, you had to kind of scratch.
Well, it was funny. I was at we were at the comic book store yesterday, or the day before yesterday. I can't remember.
Saturday.
The days are all like blurring together to me. Sure. And one of the guys at the comic book store was like, I had to take it out of my box, my comic box. I had to take it out because it was making all of the other comics smell.
We did have it in our original scratch and sniff book. We did have where Bernie the Beaver was, because he got burned. So you scratch it and it smelled like burnt.
It said barbecue, but it actually smelled like a house fire.
Like a house fire. But then Dan DiDio famously said, I don't want people standing in a comic shop scratching the beaver and then sniffing it. And we were like, fair enough.
Yeah. This is the same guy who approved the in-house ad for the new Grayson series by saying, if you think you know Nightwing, you don't know Dick.
Yeah, that's Dan. We miss having Dan there. Dan definitely had a sense of humor, boy.
I can't believe that this is. You mentioned 6 issues. You managed to squeeze 6 issues out of this concept, and I love that you got to really play in this world. You get to really explore it. I assume there's going to be massive twists and turns, and it's
it's so how we write. Harley is always like we give our editors an outline. This is the beginning, middle, and end, and then we start writing it and ignore all of it.
Right.
That is the way we've always written the character, and I do find, because we're on we're issue 4 right now. And I'm like, oh my God, hopefully they don't read our outline and realize that we just went all over the place with this. But I think when you write these characters long enough, they kind of tell you where to go, in a way.
Sure.
And it isn't always the beat you think it is, and it isn't always the 3-act story it should be, especially with Harley, because Harley is a person that is easily distracted, and that has something to do with the story as well. So it's a lot of fun, just like that cover. It's Amanda got her 1960s snakes in the cans going on with it.
My parents gave me snakes in a can for Christmas one year. It was in my stocking.
Was it?
Yeah. I was like, oh, nuts, and I open up the can, and of course, you don't have a lot of motor skills when you're like 6 or 7 years old, and I had it pointed right at my face. And it was just like, hit me right.
I want to say that
square in the forehead.
I think the first time I opened a can of snakes, it definitely was aimed directly at my face. I think that there's an age range where they're like, we know exactly who this is aimed at and who's going to fall for it. Yeah. Well, I'm so excited for this. Can you tell us when the first issue drops and how people can get it?
I will tell you exactly the exact date.
The exact date.
Because I keep track of these things. Is August 20th.
All right. August 20th, folks. Do we have a final order cutoff as well, or is August 20th
It's probably soon, right? It's probably like within a couple of weeks, because I know it's been solicited, right, for a couple of weeks ago. So
yes.
Yeah. So I'm guessing we're still within that range. There are some beautiful covers done. Amanda did 2 covers for every issue.
Oh, that's
so there's
amazing.
2 Amanda covers with every issue, and she's coloring them as well. And I'm helping her out a little bit with that.
He and I are both coloring.
Yeah. But Dynamite, they give you a little variety with the what they.
The cover game, yes.
Yeah, ComicPop Returns. They put a link to the page right there in the.
Yep. That's us.
So that's you guys. Oh, okay, there you go.
So if you're interested, folks, I did.
I was like, I'm watching you. I'm like, how did he do that? He's just standing there looking at me.
Doing this a couple of years. I know how to sleight of hand. I can drop a little link in there once in a while.
It's your foot computer you have under the desk. You just let your feet are constantly typing.
That's right. So yeah, I'm so excited to check this out. I remember when I saw this concept pitched like out there when we were talking about like what was coming through the pipe, and I was like, Harley Quinn and Elvira, what a crazy concept, and I can't believe that they managed to get it done. Like, this is one of those things where, and it's funny because if we didn't hear about like the Marvel DC crossover that's also coming this year, I would have been like, oh, this is the biggest crossover in the of the last 20 years. Like, I can't imagine this kind of like the DC actually went ahead and approved this concept, and that they're willing to get
Is the Marvel and DC crossover is just 2 books, right?
It is just 2 books. In fact, you will have 4 more issues than either of those publisher houses.
Right. So those slackers, I mean, with that crossover, I don't know. It's not like we haven't seen that before either.
That's true.
I do have a whole omnibus where there's a whole bunch of those things.
I used to love the Marvel DC crossovers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love to do a Harley Deadpool, because I've written both, so
yeah,
I would love to do that.
I would like to see that.
Yeah. But whatever, one day.
Yeah.
One day.
So besides Harley Quinn Elvira, which is dropping in August, and folks should check that out. And if you haven't already, click the link in the chat right now so you can get a copy right away. But also make sure to pre-order your comic books at your local comic book store. What is coming out from the both of you in the near future?
Well, I have every month. I have Deadly Tales of the Gunslinger. I write every month for Todd, so that comes out from Image. That's every month. And Mad Cave just put out the last issue of Pop Kill, which was a 4-issue series. So that one's in the stores this week. I'm looking around the room, right? I'm like, what the hell?
Like, what do I have? What are some comps?
I have a lot of comics back there. I'm like, all right, let me see. As far as I'm actually shipping out a Kickstarter in the next week or two that I did a couple of months back with Painkiller Jane and GI Zombie, and then I have a mini series I'm not allowed to talk about. I did for Dynamite. I will say it was a character that was animated at one point, so that's all I can say about it. But I think that's it, right? I mean, you have the covers. Amanda's got. Oh my god!
I can only I can't really do. Jimmy's like he's one of those kids that when he was little, he probably got all of his homework done as soon as he got home from school.
It wasn't good, but it was done.
I was not. I was always like, staying up late on Sunday night trying to catch up on the homework that I had. So he can spin a lot more plates than I can.
It's called paying bills, Amanda. It's called paying bills. I gotta do multiple things. Comics pays horribly. I always remind people. I'm like, when you go to the convention and you see the comic book artists and writers at their table, and they look like they haven't eaten for months, and they're dressed worse than you. I'm like, there's a reason for that. That's why they're trying to sell anything they can at their table. It's not the best paying business. It is the most fun business, but pay wise, I can honestly say I can get a job in town and do a 40-hour week and make a lot more than I do in comics.
Yeah. So that said, I'm just working on Harley Elvira and some covers.
That's great. That's still enough. I'll take it because I am such a great admirer of both of your contributions to comics and your work. And man, Ms. Conner, I must say, like the first time I saw one of your pieces of art, I think it might have been The Pro. I was like, I was blown away by that style, and I immediately wanted more. And I'm just thankful for your contributions.
Oh, thank you so much.
Comic book.
By the way, that is not a all ages appropriate book, folks. It's written by Garth, so you know what it is.
I think it's in its 8th printing right now. Where we call it the Filthy Watchman because there's always another printing coming out.
Sure, so you can never own it. Yeah, I gotcha.
Right. So we always say it's the most passed around comic. When people get it, they usually give it to someone else to read. Yeah. So that's why we always keep it in print. Image always keeps it in print.
And then a lot of, like more times than not, whoever lets, their friends borrow it, they never get their copy back. So they always have to buy another copy.
Perennial, I guess it's called. Is that what it is?
Maybe.
Yeah, like a perennial. Yeah, it's always available. It's always available. Retailers can always order it.
Yeah.
So, that's kind of cool.
Well, folks, I'm sorry. I'm so used to talking to only dudes, so I'm so used to saying gentlemen. So I want to thank you for diversifying our show a little bit.
Hey, Mister.
Hey, buddy.
Dude is a good word.
It is so encompassing. It means everything. There's no gender denomination.
I used to have an editor that called me dude all the time.
Who was that?
That was at DC. I'm having a brain fart.
All right, well, put it in a Harley comic.
I'm picturing his head in his face right now, but I'm blanking out his name.
I mean, dude is, no, you can't get mad at somebody calling you dude, right? I mean, it's,
yeah. It's
all that is kind of weird. Bud is not great for a girl. Hey,
Bud, you could feel the disdain in the Bud.
Even pal is kind of
weird. Girlfriend that calls me Bud.
I think pal is like aggressive. Hey, pal.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
When somebody goes, hey, pal, I'm like, I know there's trouble.
Yeah, I bristle up.
Yeah.
So true.
Definitely.
Well, thank you for coming on my show. I really, really appreciate it. Congratulations for this project.
On your recommendation, we're going to watch the Predator animated because I was watching the show.
Oh, thank you. So, I think you're going to dig it. It's really great. If you like animation, you're going to love it. And if you like just kind of and again, you get basically like 4 movies for the price of 1. So
I love Prey. I thought Prey was such a step in the right direction.
Yeah, me too.
So. If like you said they're coming off that, I'm like, then we're good.
Same dude.
Same person.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's even better. I love that.
I know. Yeah, he's I think they're like their guy. He's their go-to for the Predator stuff from now on.
I always felt the Alien always got a lot more attention than the Predator, and I love the first movie, but everything after it kind of got weaker and weaker and weaker.
Mm-hmm.
And Prey was like such a step forward. I was like, oh my God, somebody took the time and added a story to this.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for coming. We really appreciate it, and have a wonderful week.
All right, thank you.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for having us.
You have a
Oh,
great
my
week,
pleasure.
too.
All right,
Thank you.
Talk to you soon.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jimmy Palmiotti and Amanda Connor on our show. Thank you so much for coming. We really, really appreciate it, and thanks to the chat for being cool and getting hyped about it. Thanks, Tiffany, for being here.
I'm back.
I'm sorry. And normally I would, I was so excited about this concept of like having guests on the show.
I think it's great. I love it.
But I really want you on them. It's just hard to do the split between the headphones
it's hard
and everything.
To do well, we can do this, but I always say that I think it's better when there's just one person doing the asking and the interviewing.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's just a tighter show that way. So this is really my decision.
It is.
Also,
it is your decision.
I had a lot to drink, and now I'm ready for the rest of the show.
That's fair. It's funny.
Oh, those asking how Hades was. I actually didn't bring my Switch because I wasn't sure if this was going to be happening.
Yeah.
So I was just over there like doing whatever. But to answer your question, I finally I finally made a run through Hades fully. I finally got out.
Yeah. Nice. Way to go.
Very excited.
Let's jump into the comics, shall we?
Yeah.
Before we do, I want to mention that this show
no, what's up?
Is sponsored by viewers like you. If you're watching the show live, you can sponsor today's show by using Super Chats. Ask a question or comment in those Super Chats, and we'll read it here on the show to be part of the show forever. What we do, here's how we break up the show, and I just want to explain the format of the show at the 30 or the 40-minute mark.
This is great. I love when we
normally do is we talk about the news, and if we have time, we'll also work in some kind of a conversation with a comic book professional or two. And then we jump into the comics. We talk about our reviews of the past week's comics, and then we read your Super Chats. Then we do the book of the week. And actually, we do the book of the week. Then we do the Super Chats. Then we recommend comics that are coming out this week that we think you should check out. So that's the way it's going to go. We're going to do the books right now. After that, we're going to pick our personal favorite of the week, and then we'll read your Super Chats. So make sure to feel free to contribute and ask your questions or make your comments as that goes on. And we will make sure to get to almost all of you. I say almost because sometimes somebody drops into the Super Chats right as we're saying like bye, because there's a little bit of a delay. And that is all on us, and we do apologize if that happens. It's very rare that it does, but I mention it.
It's so true. It's so true. If that's not what you're looking to do, just give this video a little upvote.
That's right. If you're in the chat right now, if you're watching the show live and you dig what we're doing, please click that thumbs up button. That does help us out in some way. I don't know how, but I've always heard it. Mr. Sunday Movie says that it helps. And
and he knows what's up.
He knows what's up.
He knows what's up.
Physically,
he's in the future.
He shared what? Yes, that's right, because Australia is technically in the future. And he once went to like the Serengeti and saw gorillas in real life. And it's like,
that must be awe-inspiring.
He was not impressed.
Okay.
He thought it looked fake. Oh. And he was like,
that's because that's how awe-inspiring they were. You couldn't imagine that was real.
Yeah.
I was in a room with a cheetah one time and I cried.
That's right. Yeah. But you were also the thing about the I think James had to stay probably within like 10 car lengths from a gorilla.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
Or an ape, because it would kill him.
That's fair.
And while the cheetah could kill you, this cheetah was very docile because he had his animals. He had a support animal.
He had
with
a
him.
support animal. He has his golden retriever pal. It was just like totally fine.
Yeah, you were within striking distance of a cheetah.
Yeah, and they're like, "Don't touch it." I'm like,
"You're like, how could
you're really asking a lot of me right now?"
And then they're also like petting it, like, "Don't touch this adorable giant cat."
Look at it. Don't you want to touch it?
Is he purring? Yes. Don't touch him though. I read Storm number 9. This book is baffling that no one is talking about it. Storm number 9 from Marewa Ayodele and Lucas Wernick. This is okay. So Eternity has chosen Storm as his avatar or its avatar. And so Eternity has like imbued its essence into Storm. Storm is being questioned by like the FBI because of what happened with the whole Charles Xavier escaping Earth thing.
Yep, sure.
And she also has like a crazy fight club in her citadel that's run by maggots. Yes, that's right. 90s maggots back, and he's a Storm supporting character. She-Hulk's also a supporting character in this book out of nowhere, and I'm here for it. It's delightful. But just this book is about kind of like the hierarchy of Marvel cosmology, and
really
how it relates to Storm is that Storm is caught up in it. Sure. And it's going to light the fuse that begins a event that's within the pages of Storm.
Oh, okay.
So I would definitely buy this book if you like Marvel cosmology, if you like gods, if you like the
the book Gods?
in gods. Yes, not those characters though.
Oh,
It's
okay.
not like Wynn shows up in it, but
no one will ever use Wynn.
they will use Wynn.
No, I'm sure they will.
Someone will kill Wynn.
Sure.
To prove a point.
Yeah.
About their new character.
Sure.
But no, Storm is great. I love this series. Iodele gets these characters, gets Storm. Storm continues to be. Storm has filled the void that was left by X-Force. This is
interesting.
This is arguably the best X-Men book out there right now.
Oh, okay.
And it's like the most exciting and big. If Imperial hadn't come out, I'd be like, y'all need to be reading this because it's like the biggest space/cosmology event from Marvel. But that being said, this does not in any way diminish, or Imperial does not diminish this in any way.
Okay.
It is a great book.
Okay.
A lot of fun characterization, a lot of fun, cool action sequences, but also we're world building in this. But yeah, it's just a great book. I really enjoy it.
Yes.
What did you read that was that was not something I read?
Real quick, I read "Let This One Be a Devil" #4. This is the last of this series. This is written by James Tynion IV and Steve Fox, with art by Piotr Kowalski. This brought this book to a close. I am both like fine with this and also like, okay.
It ended kind of.
I don't know.
Abruptly.
Like it did and it didn't. Like they were clearly doing something. I think it just wasn't where I thought this was going. But it was kind of like it is what it like. It make it like whatever you want it to be. Like it's real, but it's also like you can see the myth or like kind of it's real. At the end of the day, in the book is real.
It happened.
It's real. It really is real. But like the characters don't really get confirmation of that necessarily.
So it's like an X-Files episode.
Yes. I mean, I had a great time with it. I'm really glad I read it. I very much enjoyed it. And yay, Jersey Devil. You're a great cryptid. Don't let anybody take that from you.
Yeah.
You doing great work. They do add like a little like it's like there's like a heartwarming end for the Jersey Devil back in the 1700s.
Oh,
it's sweet.
Oh, does it meet one of its many brothers or sisters?
No, his mom.
What?
Yeah, his mom.
Sorry, I let you be a devil.
No, it's. I'm not going to ruin it for anybody who might run to read this. Yeah. But the book overall, it's great looking. I think Kowalski's style fits this very much. Like it's just a great tone and art mix and meetup. Yeah, I think
someone asked should have been longer.
I am wondering if it shouldn't have been one more issue, and then maybe they could have put a little bit more into the ending. I just feel like they were like, oh, we're only getting 4, but we definitely want to do this other stuff. And maybe that one issue where we talked all about the historical relevance of certain things, maybe, I don't know. Maybe we should have put a little less emphasis on it.
It's a Dark Horse book with Tynion and Fox on it. There's no way that they were denied another issue, right? I mean, come on.
I don't know. But
nuts.
Yeah, I mean, again, I liked it. I'm not saying I didn't like it. But I think part of the reason I liked it was because it is about a cryptid from my state. So I recognize that I'm looking at it with those eyes as well, but it's still fun.
And you have a familiarity with it too. It wasn't just like, oh, it's New Jersey, so I'm going to give it a pass.
You said that like as though like, you've had familiarity. You've run into him.
Yeah, right. You know him, right? You used to live next door to him for a couple of years, right?
Yeah,
you
sure.
remember the Jersey Devil.
Yeah. I went to camp with him.
That's right. Yeah.
So great.
That's cool. Well, I also read The World to Come from Priest and Quesada, Marvel Knights, The World to Come. This is it's not a Marvel. It's an alternate reality future story about the legacy of Black Panther written by Priest. So if you are familiar with Christopher Priest, you love his work, you loved his run on Black Panther, definitely this book is a kind of like Marvel The End cap to Priest's run on Black Panther, to the point where at the end of this issue, they even say, by the way, Priest wrote like a seminal run on Black Panther, and if you want to be informed more about what's happening in this book, just read his run. Also, you don't have to, though. It's like Marvel was doing that thing where they're constantly at odds with themselves. They're like, hey, buy some new comic books. By the way, this is a new comic book, and so you don't need to read any other comic books to enjoy it, I should say. And it's like, yeah, you kind of do. But it is set in the future, so it doesn't really matter. But the crux of it is just like, it's a power struggle. We're showing you the fall of T'Challa as the king of Wakanda. We're seeing the rise of his I don't want to spoil it, but I guess I could
Yeah,
say
don't.
his son
Okay.
is the challenger.
Sure.
And there's the last page has already been revealed across social media, but I'm not going to spoil it here on this show. I'm just going to say Priest gave us a shocking ending to the first issue and implies a crazy story to come, and it has made people lose their minds. And if Priest hadn't done it, it would be in poor taste and bizarre. As it stands, it's just bizarre. But it is by Priest, so I trust it.
I live under a rock. You're going to show me this later because I live under a rock and I have no idea.
It's the reveal of.
I know I understand that, but I'm just saying, like, I live under a rock and I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah. By the way, they use some terms and words in this book, and there is a little like glossary at the end that explains what they mean. It is from Wakanda, so it is not technically really a language.
Whatever.
But it's cool.
That's like a Peach Momoko influence.
I agree. But I will say that Quesada drawing this book, good stuff. Apparently, this was originally a pitch for Marvel Knights back in the day. I think that the idea actually wasn't back in the day. According to the meta text within the book, they suggested that Priest had pitched this when Quesada was chief creative officer of Marvel, which could have been any time in the last 20 years, except for when he was fired. So, who knows?
He couldn't be then. But I mean, he could have still done it.
Yeah. Well, and the point is that like Quesada, I don't think approved it because he wanted to draw it, but he wouldn't have had time to be able to do it. So now he does because he has all the time in the world. It looks good. It doesn't look like Quesada has missed a step or lost any ground.
Great.
And yet it also doesn't look like he is not swinging for the fences like it seems he was doing with things like Omit, where it was like, I know you hate what I'm doing, but like you gotta admit that the Spider-Man book looks great, doesn't it? And it's like, yeah, everyone will always remember that one other cover that you didn't do, and that will be the legacy of Omit. But whatever. I think it's Paulo Rivera. Anyway, it is it looks good. It's good stuff.
Great.
I'm a fan of Quesada's art. I've always have been.
Excellent.
And it looks great. And Priest just makes it engaging. It's like, oh, look, it's a Black Panther and another Black Panther in the water, and they're fighting over who's going to be king. I've seen this like 100 times now, thanks to the movie. And yet Priest makes it fresh and engaging, and you feel the stakes. But also, it's another reality, so how high could the stakes be? Okay. But good stuff overall. I mean, it's Priest doing Black Panther. How could you go wrong?
Yeah.
Plus, in a future that doesn't really happen, so he could do anything he wants. Exciting. Okay. What else we got?
I read Ultimate Wolverine.
Me too.
Okay, cool. This is Ultimate Wolverine number 6. Written by Chris Condon with guest art by Alex Linz.
Yes.
Okay. So the long and the short of it is we use a Deus Ex Machina sort of thing in order to get Wolverine to snap out of it. This feels like, to me, Condon had more of a story to tell, but we're wrapping this up faster than we
Does it feel like it's over? I'm hoping that this series continues.
I think the series might continue, but I feel like they were like, get Wolverine out of this now.
Get the Wolverine into this.
Yeah, like enough of this Winter Soldier Wolverine.
It's Wolverine time.
That's what it felt like to me. Like it felt like they were like, no more of that.
Yes.
Now this book's supposed to be about Wolverine.
Yeah.
But it was a great issue.
But
it did feel like I was like, oh, okay. And I mean, out of those little moves, fair.
Yeah.
I mean, though we did have to have like a little info page in the back to explain how this all came about. I didn't really question it.
No.
Because I'm like, I don't know this universe. So it doesn't matter. You could say any reason.
I mean, you've read every book that's come out in this universe, so you do know it as intimately as anybody else.
That is not true.
No, not today. I mean, you have read.
No, I have not read the Ultimates.
You haven't read any Ultimates?
I haven't read any Ultimates.
That's fine. So
it's just listen before.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Before anyone's coming at me over that one, the fact is, it's like I am not in this universe for that.
Right.
I am in this universe to go on a magical what if adventure. And that's what I've been doing. Yeah. That is what Ultimate Black Panther is. That is what Ultimate X-Men is. That is what Ultimate Wolverine is. That is what Ultimate Spider-Man is. It's what all of these Ultimate books are.
Yeah.
Right. And like, that's what I want.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking for right now.
I also really enjoyed this issue. I feel what you're saying, and I think that is being felt because I think something's happening. I think either they advance their timetables or they realize that they have to wrap things up or whatever. I don't know what it is, but there's another book that came out where they're like, that's enough of all of this time you're spending.
I feel like that might be true. That said, good pull.
Yeah.
On how to make this happen.
Oh yeah, the deep cut reference character that they use in this is fantastic. Immediately I recognized it. I was like, oh, I know who that is. This is great. And the special guest artist is great.
Yeah.
Channeling some D-Dubs vibes, got some oh god.
I feel like it
Wes
just has
Craig vibes.
There's like certain pages here where there's just like, again, Wolverine is such an interesting character overall in terms of how writers or how creators create for him, the types of stories they tell and the types of art that they provide with Wolverine. It could be something super slick, it could be something really grungy, or it could be something very dark and noir. And like there are definitely some homages to that where it's just entire pages that are just a shadow, essentially.
Yes.
I'm like, that's cool.
I also noticed that in the lettering that there were virtually no, if not no, caption boxes. It was all just text on panel, which I thought was a very interesting choice.
Yeah.
And I noticed it only in that I'm used to there being caption boxes, and I noticed it where I'm like, no, you're pulling it off even without the caption boxes.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Cool. Looked great. I loved it. I was like, this is great.
Really great stuff. Really fun.
Yeah.
And smart way. And like, hey, a couple of characters that we hadn't really run into in anything else, at least not for me, show up here. And hey.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I know who's gonna be excited about seeing her gal Abigail show up.
One of them, at least. Yeah. I'm like, please don't be a bad guy this time. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I would like that.
Right, exactly.
But very fun. And the tease for the next issue, amazing looking.
Oh yeah, I did not see the tease.
I think it's Capuccio back too. Again, not that Linz does a bad job. Really fantastic.
No, yeah, absolutely. Let's see. I read this book, Ghost Rider versus Galactus from Babylon 5 creator J. Michael Straczynski. This time with art by Juan Ferreira. This is a flashback story in which the Thing convinces Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider to use his pen and stare on Galactus. He's like, why don't you go into space and just pen and stare the shit out of Galactus, like in that 90s Fantastic Four cartoon that has made its way around TikTok 6 times. And this book is, I have to assume that JMS saw that and was like, I'm going to be the, well, actually, because every time that clip from that Fantastic Four episode comes around, some comic book fan shows up and goes, actually, that would never happen because, and JMS made a book that makes that canon. Just not the cartoon that makes the, well, actually guy get to be able to cite a book. Actually, that would never happen. And here's the book where that would never happen. And the book is literally just Johnny Blaze goes to space. And at first I was like, did Johnny Blaze even invent the pen and stare? But it doesn't matter. And I didn't believe he did. But so he goes into space. He finds Galactus. He stares him down. And Galactus is like, I don't feel bad. The pen and stare has to work. In order to make the pen and stare work, I have to feel guilt. And I don't.
Yeah, I don't even know what that is. That's a concept for you.
And then the Watcher shows up and he's like, that's a concept for you. He's beyond that. He doesn't understand. You just made him feel confused. Also, there's the book is for Juan Ferreira. There's this gorgeous debut of Johnny who dresses just like Danny Cash. And he's on his bike saying hi to Ben Grimm. And he just has this like relaxed kind of lean. Yeah. And it's like sideways like view of it.
Sure.
And I saw that circulating social media as well. And I'm like, yeah, good for you, Ferreira. Way to crush it. At some point or another, when Johnny goes to meet Galactus, he uses demonic powers to make himself as big as Galactus and just be this big skull fire demon that just like stares down Galactus. And it's like, who cares? Yeah, you could feel this is every part of Babylon 5 creator J. Michael Straczynski's pros and cons. Where it's like,
does he run to Galactus, or does he run to Galactus in his ship?
No. Galactus is out of his ship consuming a planet.
Oh, okay.
And Johnny goes up there. He hitches a ride on a rocket using like a space octopus. Ben convinces him to do it.
Yo, I dare you.
He says that like he's you killed this guy who murdered like a coworker of his with your pen and stare. Galactus killed billions upon trillions of people.
That's like a you problem, Ben.
Right?
It sounds like a Fantastic Four problem.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just but the problem with JMS is that like he'll have an idea or a moral.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the most important thing to him, is just being a writer,
Right.
having his story,
Mm-hmm.
and then executing it immediately.
Right.
And everything else be damned.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, so as far as he's concerned, the lesson is the lesson. And the lesson at the end is that Uatu tries to explain to Johnny, like,
you can't do that.
Well, the future is like, JMS actually retcons like the purpose of Galactus. You know, like Galactus is the survivor of the previous universe, but it turns out that like every universe has a Galactus, and all those Galactuses all eat everything until the end of time, and then time resets with another Galactus. But they all have within them like the collective knowledge and experience and music and art and writing and beauty of their previous universes, until eventually the universe will reset to the point of perfection, and they'll have all the history and knowledge and beauty and art and music and science that like they have created in untold previous civilizations within the DNA of their existence. And so isn't that beautiful? And Johnny's like, no. And then Wada's like, well, then shut up, and just sends him back to Earth. And then Johnny has dinner with Alicia and Ben and learns a lesson about what Uatu said. And I'm like, okay, like, you know what? Like, that's the point of the issue. It's just like, JMS wanted to say something about like, about death and the after and like and there being no afterlife, and how you can reconcile that and still find beauty in the universe. Like that's, you know, he wanted to talk about death, and he used Galactus and Ghost Rider to do it.
Sometimes you just gotta use Galactus.
Yep, and I want to make also a citation for that cartoon show from like 35 years ago.
You got it.
And it was like, okay, you know what? It's cute. There's a lot of One Forever art in here that's just amazing. It's just, you know, even if it's like, can Ghost Rider do that? Who cares? Looks cool.
Yeah.
And also, does this book even count? I mean, like, look at the low effort they put into like the lettering on this cover. Who cares? But you know, it's a good issue in terms of like, it looks great and it has a lesson. It's a perfectly cromulent issue. You can read it, you can enjoy it, you could buy pages from it, or you could just, you know, ingest it and then move on, like Galactus himself.
Yeah,
you know, you just consume it and then forget about consuming it in the first place.
And you don't feel guilt.
Yeah. Someone mentioned a cash grab. No, it's not a cash grab. No one's trying to make money by making a book with Galactus's name on the cover. However, Galactus will be the villain of a massive multi-billion-dollar franchise. So yeah, I mean, like, sure, you know, there is a book with Galactus on it. That sounds more like JMS than Marvel to me. Either way, it's a fine issue.
Well, that way when they do this, you can get a check for it.
Yeah. When they put that in the thing, they're never going to. Yeah. When Ryan Gosling's Ghost Rider is used to fight Galactus in like phase 10 of Marvel, we're not seeing that. What else we got?
I read Absolute Green Lantern this week. I said that in the weirdest way possible. I read Absolute Green Lantern this week, written by Al Ewing.
Yes.
What's up?
Would you mind reading this while I take a break?
Where are you going?
To the bathroom.
Oh. Yeah, all right.
All right, thank you. I'll be right back.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, this is, oh boy. Now you're in for it.
Yeah.
I should have saved the Jersey Devil one for this. This is written by Al Ewing with art by Janoy Lindsay. We're 3 issues into this series, and I legitimately am not certain where this book is going, but I'm enjoying it. And admittedly, I know a lot of folks had originally, when they read the first issue of this, made immediate Dragon Ball Z connections. I did as well. And then in this one, we get a little bit of a connection to maybe another anime, in terms of, we hear a lot about the Philosopher's Stone, which of course to me, some people are going to think Harry Potter. I can't help but think of freaking, you know, the show. My brain is tired. But I'm wondering if this is an Al Ewing's like anime inspired time. I'm also wondering in terms of like, I've read a lot of Al Ewing stuff that I've really enjoyed. This one, I'm not sure if it just hasn't had a chance to really dig in yet. I just really, Full Metal Alchemist. Thank you so much, everybody. I really just can't get a feel for like what is happening. The story is told in a way where we're seeing the past, we're seeing the present, where we're seeing you know, just certain characters that we know being taken off the table, which is fine. This is the absolute universe. This can happen. We have no idea what's going on in terms of, you know, like, are these lanterns, are these like former DC Prime sort of like lanterns actually gone. John is judged. He doesn't seem too upset. He does just disappear in a ball of flame.
Oh no.
Yeah. John Stewart.
Yeah, they kill off John Stewart?
Well, we don't know. I don't know if they're really killed off or they're just disappearing. You know what I mean?
They're probably disappearing.
John also figures out that it's not yellow, it's gold. That is the lanterns, like the green.
Oh, impurity or weakness?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he initially figures it's not just the color, it's actually the type. Like if it's a gold plastic, it will go through it. If it's like gold, it'll like burst a hole through it for a second and before it seals back up.
Okay.
So I'm not really sure what we're saying here.
So there's thought into it.
There
but
is
it also
some thought,
is
but I'm
vexing.
starting to like, I don't know what Ewing wants to do with this. And I'm not sure if it's just that it hasn't had a chance to really like open itself up.
Right.
Or if he's just, I don't know, he doesn't have too much of a story.
Yeah.
But yeah, but we get like, all right, so John's off the table. Hal, we get a little bit more backstory as to like his fear. He's like painting bullets gold.
Oh, okay.
In order,
so he's getting obsessive.
And, and it is his fear that seems to be taking over him. And I'm
it's like the yellow.
Sure.
All right.
I get that. I absolutely do. Abin Sur being Abin Sur in this.
Right. He's.
I don't know what to do with this yet. So I want to at least give this to issue 5 because it feels like that's when the arcs are ending for a lot of these absolute books.
Yeah.
I just need to get a better handle on what Ewing is attempting to do with the Green Lantern. Everyone's trapped under this bubble. They're starting to recognize that inevitably like food is going to run out. Like they have like someone serves coffee, they make coffee and they're like, here, enjoy it while you can because eventually we're going to run out of coffee.
And you're like, what? Oh no.
I'm like, oh yeah, right. You're going to run out of stuff.
Yeah.
Inevitably. I mean, unless you can somehow get a message out that it's like just deliver it in like gold covered things.
Right.
So
bizarre.
Okay. It's an interesting entry into the absolute universe. I don't know what we're trying to do with it just yet.
Well, I read Amazing Spider-Man.
Oh, wow.
Number 5 from the same creative team as before.
Okay.
Joe Kelly and what is it? Paulo Rivera?
No, Pepe Larraz.
Pepe Larraz. Thank you. I don't want to keep saying that.
That's okay. I couldn't come up with Fullmetal Alchemist, even though alchemy is in the name
title
of it. Well, that they mentioned they're talking about the Philosopher's Stone.
Yes.
And I was like, L. Ewing, did you just discover like anime for a very specific time?
There are unfortunately a not zero number of comic book creators in the last 10 years who have Western influences for their entire first 43 years of their lives, who have suddenly discovered anime and then use it as an influence for the rest of their careers.
Sure.
And every like Naruto fan shows up going like, I've seen this like 1,000 times already.
Yeah.
And these like folks are kind of just going like, well, I just learned about it for the first time and it seemed innovative to me. And it's like, well, that's like a 30-year-old idea. And for better or worse, that's the influence on comics.
Yeah, that's right. They mentioned homunculus, and that is part of the reason why I was like
homunculus. I know that word. I've heard it. Like first time I heard it was when I saw the first episode of Fullmetal Alchemist.
I was like, okay, cool. Coming to the Green Lantern book, a thrown together group of bounty hunters join the crew with their strange whip smart kid and adorable dog.
Yep. And then a giant angelic robot shows up.
Yo,
I can't wait for
if that happens. I will clap.
Evangelion is going to take over some big 2 Justice League or Avengers level character within the next 2 years.
That's fine.
Mark my words.
I feel like Evangelion, you can't do a crossover with it in any way, shape, or form with anything.
No, I just mean like it's going to be stolen.
Oh, sure.
I mean, they're going to do it.
Oh, sure. It'll be like when they decide that like Constantine or like needs to have a bigger role in something.
Yes.
And also robots.
Yeah, and also robots because why not? DC Mech. So anyway, I read Amazing Spider-Man. It's gorgeous. This is the best 5 issues. This is the best looking 5 issues of Spider-Man on Amazing Spider-Man, in years.
Yeah.
And it's competent. It's well written. It is the conclusion of the story arc, though it will continue from here. Spider-Man gets over his, drug induced hallucinations, battles the Hobgoblin, and
this cover's great.
Yeah, it's a great cover. It's great images in the issue. You know, like the whole like Batwing Hobgoblin thing is in here. Spider-Man webs them up, and then Hobby rips himself out of them, so like he looks like classic Hobgoblin for a minute. But he gets them back just because that's the look, you know, it's Hobgoblin with big wings, which you mentioned, I think, in the last time we talked about this, that you really enjoy. I like it too.
I think it's fun, especially in silhouette. In this
art, it looks great.
It does.
But yeah, it's you know, the lesson is here, the story is here. Peter reconciles with Aunt May. You know, we see the point of the flashbacks. Like everything kind of culminates and works together. The point is that Joe Kelly knows how to tell a nothing story, and this one is like an arc. He wrote it to be an arc, and it's great. Somebody asked how he has wings. He doesn't really have wings. They're like a jetpack. You know, like he wears them the same way that like Xanatos did on his mech suit. You know, it's just like or when Batman makes his wings like, you know, for a hang glider or something.
Yeah.
It's just an augmentation that he wears. Nothing about Kingsley is like superhuman. But yeah, it's we see the greater implication of the cola problem is it's a you know, it's a scheme. Like, oh, I'm gonna sell the drug-laced cola to the masses. It's gonna actually infect this drug was also in all of these other beverages, which also included like children's juice boxes, and eventually people will feel this anxiety to the point where they need help, and our drug companies will provide the cure. You know, it's like I've seen this story in other media, in other Spider-Man stories, but it happened here too. And you know what? Fine. Like it was fun. It was a good story. It worked, and the art was phenomenal. You know, all I ask for when it comes to Spider-Man, I'm not asking them to make Mary Jane and Peter come back together. I know that's a moot point. You know, it's not until like a guy, you know, like me eventually takes over Marvel, and that's never going to happen for me, but it might happen someday.
Yes.
But you're never going to see that. So you know, if I want to keep reading this series or keep enjoying Spider-Man as an ongoing in continuity character, what am I looking for here? A complete story that is true to the character, that looks good, and is something I haven't seen before. And Pepe Larraz did the art, by the way, and they did. This will be a volume of Amazing Spider-Man, volume 25 or whatever, volume 1 of this new arc, and it'll be really good.
So is Larraz going to come back?
I sincerely hope so, but I hear that Romita Jr. is taking over, which means it's time for me to stop reading it for a while because it's going to look like balls.
Such a jump.
Yeah, it's just going to be a big drop, and it's just a shame because I love John Romita Jr. and I love his work. I really appreciate his work. I really enjoyed it on Spider-Man 20 years ago, and he had done the Zeb Wells run for the majority of it. It's like, no, don't.
Why would you make people think?
Why would you tether people to that?
Don't make them connect.
Yeah, I don't remember if it's next or if it's. But I heard it's coming.
It's coming.
But Larraz is great. He's a fantastic fit. I hope they're paying him well.
Who did the cover?
Larraz.
Okay, that's what I thought. The form is on Spider-Man is so good.
Yeah, it's interesting because
it's just so good looking.
It's
real looking.
It is real. That's the thing about this, is that like I love a Spider-Man that isn't necessarily accurate, isn't proportionate to a human being's physiology. Sure. I like McFarlane. That is my understanding statement. But or Eric Larson Spider-Man. The Goblin thing doesn't necessarily work proportionately in every page, but he looks awesome. Spider-Man is proportionate in every page. There's multiple Spider-Man jumpings sequences.
Yeah. It
could be that he's using an action figure as like a reference point, and that's why it's so consistent, which is fine. I see Alex Ross does that shit. Like everyone does that. And I think that's fantastic. I'm glad. Especially because the new action figures are so articulate. They have so many different points of articulate. You can make every pose possible for Spider-Man, but it's very consistent and it's very proportionate, and it's always like that throughout every issue of Larraz's Spider-Man for the last 5 issues. Spider-Man has looked real.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
That's great.
It's a great book.
Amazing.
Yep. Lives up to the title.
Spider-Man.
Yep. This comes out next week, so I'll only say this. I've read Ninja Turtles #9 from Jason Aaron and Juan Ferreira, and it's great. It also gets the message that maybe this story arc needs to stop. So it's gonna things are ramping up. Like it took 9 issues for the Turtles to learn a lesson about brotherhood and family and their
That's
own
fair.
problems. And you know what? It's earned because it took 9 issues to get to that point.
Yeah.
And they still haven't learned it yet.
Okay.
So we're still getting there. But it looks great. Awesome action sequences. It's a beautiful Redondo, inspired sequence of Mikey breaking into a building and kicking ass. Again, this is next week's issue. This comes out next week, so check this out. I'm sorry, this week's issue. Check it out this Wednesday.
Yeah.
Pick this up. But it's great. It's a good book and consistent. It's from Mikey's perspective.
All right.
Which you're used to because you all read Last Ronin.
Spoiler.
Please. That book came out forever ago and everybody talks about it. We both read Absolute Superman.
Yes.
Jason Aaron again,
Yes.
this time with art by the guy who draws this book.
Perfect. Well said.
Yeah,
Really nicely done.
So Rafa Sandoval?
Yes.
It is Rafa Sandoval. Yay. Jimmy and Lois team up to help Superman, but they're both on different sides of their own respective interests. What? It's good.
Yeah,
it's well written. It's great looking.
It's good. I am just.
It's not my least favorite Absolute book.
No. I'm definitely not vibing with this book at all.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not for a lack of quality.
No, it's not.
It's just I'm like, oh my gosh, just get over yourselves.
Yeah.
I mean, we literally watch Rachel Gould throw a baby
over
off
a
of a building,
and then we have someone literally go, "Oh my god!" on the ground to prove, yes, that baby died.
He did that.
Yeah.
That didn't just go away. No, that happened.
Yeah, Rachel Gould's a bad guy.
Yeah. So,
I love this, by the way. On the you could see how little this book must not be selling great because on the cover, I mean, they did the same thing with Wonder Woman though. A new story starts here.
I think this is what they're doing.
I think that's what they're doing. You're right, but but it does also send a message that's like, hey, new stuff.
I think they were smart to do that, and I think it does have to do with that confusion element as well.
Yeah, the first 5 issues, people were like, "Oh, this is a miniseries."
Yes.
Yep.
I mean, the Rachel Gould element of this, I kind of love him being tethered to Superman instead of Batman. It's just a fun change up.
It is a fun switch.
I am just looking to I want him to have his time to build and to get there. But I think I'm at a point where I'm like,
and I'll let you know when I'm coming back.
I'm ready for him to be there. Now, I'm not saying to be like Truth, Justice, and all that.
A Better Tomorrow.
And A Better Tomorrow. I am ready for him to just get to the next stage.
Yeah.
Which I think maybe we're getting there.
I don't want it to feel artificial though.
I don't. I definitely don't.
I'm just like, I just Superman, what's the problem is with this book? And it's just because there's a lot of building and it's all very ground level. Superman feels the least relevant to this universe. And I think that's by design because, Darkseid wants Superman to go away.
Sure.
But he is the least relevant superhero in this entire universe. I don't think
that he's the least relevant. Because
no one knows this is happening.
But we also have Flash and Green Lantern, and they're
pretty irrelevant.
They're totally
they're very new.
Well, that's the thing. That's what Superman is as well. Batman and Wonder Woman have come onto the scene, regardless of not being heroes with other people. They've both been training and doing their thing.
Yes.
And Superman has also been doing his thing, but he doesn't have the upbringing on Earth.
Yes.
And so I think that's where I'm struggling because I'm just like, you're supposed to be a leader, but I'm like, I think that only because of I know Superman from over there.
Yeah.
And so that's really a me thing. That's not
fair.
really a you
because I don't have that feeling.
Superman.
I don't get that feeling because I've read so many Superman reboots.
Sure.
I'm just like, yeah, okay, I see. Yeah, all right. It's just not as exciting to me as other books that I've read.
Hey, Darkseid's in the chat.
Oh crap. Hey, Lord. It's a good book.
Love your stuff. Love the Furies.
Right, exactly.
Keep making Agony and Fire or whatever it is you export.
Yeah, right, exactly. It's a good book, but
it is.
But if you're burnt out on it, I get it.
Yeah, but it's not for it not being.
It's not a bad book.
It's not a bad book. It looks great. The art is phenomenal looking.
Yep.
Great stuff. Oh, we're going with that. I thought we were going with this.
Oh, sure. Yeah. You read this.
Of course, you didn't read this.
No.
I know. I read Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong #2, written by Brian Bucoletto with art by Christian
Deuce.
Is it Deuce?
I don't know.
Duce.
He didn't sound off in the comments of the episode you covered.
Didn't sound off. That's
Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong on back issues. Check it out already on youtube.com/ComicPop.
Yes, this is the second series for this. So this is issue 1 of that. We were promised that the Justice League would be going to the other Earth.
Much less exciting.
Nah, kind of. That's what I thought, but no, I'm still having a good time.
Oh, good.
This opens with a wedding. I initially thought it was going to be Clark and Lois.
Yeah.
It's not.
Oh, no.
It's Barry.
Oh.
Barry's getting married.
Good.
But he hasn't told Iris that he's a superhero.
Oh, okay.
No, he hasn't told him that he's getting married.
Well, because if for him, he's like, okay, we're getting married. She's like, okay, great. And then he would just have the wedding ready to go.
Right. No. They do it up, and like that's why most of the heroes can't go. But like Iris knows Clark and Lois, so Clark can go. Like certain people can go because they know them outside of their superhero identities. It's cute. It's very sweet. But during the wedding, like during the reception, Lois gets a message from Mercy because Lex Luthor is missing. I believe he was arrested or not. It's kind of hard to tell.
Yeah.
Here's the long and the short of it, folks. If you're wondering who on DC's Earth would desire to go over to the other world in order to get a better handle on this, there's literally one name that should be on the top of your short list.
Yes.
Who is it?
Lex Luthor.
No.
What?
It's Amanda Waller.
Oh, that's fun. Okay, yeah.
So we get like a Suicide Squad-esque thing together, and Lex Luthor's part of it.
All right.
She wants to get she's like, that's never happening again. We're not going to rely on metahumans, all this crap, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it leads them to go over to there. The superheroes follow. A whole bunch of stuff happens. We see Godzilla for a hot second. He hasn't really gotten involved yet. Neither has Kong, except they are on Skull Island when the superheroes land, right? They utilize a gate, the whole thing. And at the end, big surprise that someone dies.
Oh, yes.
Or presumably
they kill
dies.
another superhero.
It's not a superhero.
Oh.
Someone is dead.
Oh no.
Dead. I'm going to put air quotes
in this other
dead.
universe.
Dead. Yeah. Great stuff. You get to see a giant king shark.
Ooh.
If you thought to yourself, man,
yes,
what if King Shark was really big?
That's cool.
And fought Godzilla for a second.
That's fun. Yeah, I'd like to see that.
That's what that is what this book is.
I know.
They're like, hey, I showed you all the other things before. How about some new stuff? And I'm like, oh, okay, I'll take some new stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's great. Had a great time. Looking forward to more.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the summer of me every week going like, yay. Yay. I'm not going into this thinking it's going to be as good. I'm not going to allow myself that thought. If it happens to end up that way, great.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed the first one so much.
Yes.
I had so much fun with it.
We're hyped for this.
I was very hyped. And I appreciate the fact they're shifting it up, at least with the villain is and the reasons for going over there. I was like, yes, Amanda Waller would do this.
Yep.
So
totally.
Makes sense.
Yep. So yeah, you read this.
I did.
This is the book I had to sacrifice. I was like, I don't have time for this.
I can't believe it. It's Imperial 1.
Yes.
Issue 1, but also called 1. Written by Jonathan Hickman with art by Iban Coelho and Federico Vincentini.
They're great.
This issue is really long, and I actually didn't even look at the price tag on it. I just bought it. I wasn't thinking twice about it, and I bought it on Comixology, and I'm like going along, and I'm like, I wonder how far I am, and I clicked the little bar on the bottom, and I was like,
I'm halfway through.
I'm like, 53 pages. How could it be 53 pages?
Yeah.
How is this possible? Yo, this book is great. I'm not even a big fan of
like Marvel Space.
Yeah, I'm really not. Like sometimes I'll lock in with it, sometimes I don't. But for the most part, not a big fan. This book is fire. Loved it. Loved everything about it. If you were like, you know what I missed? Hulk being the world breaker. Yeah, he back.
Oh, we're back to that.
And
isn't there a Hulk book now?
I don't.
Well, who cares?
Who cares?
He's Worldbreaker Hulk again.
Who cares? It's freaking amazing.
Yeah,
look at this entrance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what? Why is She-Hulk here and like that?
So, without me having to spoil anything, because it's like literally in the first few pages of this. So if you read like a sample of this, you would say it'd be amazing. Here is why. Hulk's son is dead.
Oh no, Scar?
Yeah.
Scar's dead?
I think it's Scar. No, it's not Scar.
It's the other one.
It's the other one. It's the one who's in charge.
Yeah, the one I don't give a crap about.
Yeah, but he's dead.
Okay, good.
So they're going to go to the funeral.
Okay.
That's why Jen is there.
Oh,
and
okay.
Amadeus.
All right, that's cool.
They're going.
All right.
And then a whole bunch of other stuff happens.
Right.
And there's a murder mystery.
But not over that one.
Yeah.
Oh, but over that Hulk?
Because there's other okay. This is why I'm like, okay, this is why Hickman gets to do what Hickman does, because like he takes something like this, and this is what I kind of realized. Hickman really likes to tell these like, here's the contained story. I want to build a world. I want to do this. I want to make all these things, and then I want to leave it alone.
3 worlds, 3 moons.
And goodbye. I'm done. I don't care anymore. Moving on. That's why I think this is going to be much like Gods was, where it's going to be super tight, super strong, but like a lot to it. And I'm really glad this first issue was so large, because I was like, I don't know where this is going. And there's like a point where I was just like, and then it was over.
Yeah.
Even though there's like a ton of reading going on within it, there is a like political thriller murder mystery going on in your space cosmology book.
Great. That's great.
And it opens up with something where I'm like, I don't know who's behind this, because I don't know costumes all that well. There is a thought I had for one of them who I thought might be it, but I don't know how this would tie into it necessarily. But yeah, like this book looks great.
Yes.
It's fun. It's like just well written. It's well paced.
Yeah.
It's well paced. There's
a
ton of like reading to be had. But we cut to the quick fairly succinctly.
Okay.
And there's what could be a red herring or not at the end of this, that's like, this is what's happening. And we see like a person who, someone shows up at a big meeting, which I don't want to tell you about because I know you're going to read it.
Sure.
I don't want to ruin it for you if you haven't had a chance to read it. But someone shows up at a big meeting and they're an assassin and they try to kill a bunch of people and they get away, and you immediately get to see what they're wearing, and they're wearing something very distinct, which tethers them to a very distinct group of individuals in the universe.
Okay.
And so I'm like, is this a red herring? Is this really happening? I don't know. But the idea is that like there is some sort of like bigger game being played here by a couple of individuals that are seemingly in some sort of like super space cosmology place with like crazy big like whale things and whatever. And I'm like, this is the stuff I'm actually here for. I want to see this crap. It's just so much fun. I have never really been invested in terms of Hulk being on Sakaar. Yeah, never really been invested. I'm totally invested in this.
Great.
I love the idea of Hulk being the world breaker and Amadeus Cho being the smartest person on Earth, and She-Hulk being called the Lawbringer. And I'm like, yes, of course,
yeah,
right?
Good use of that character.
Great idea. Just also sets it up for, it's just like there's a moment where he has to leave and he looks at Jen and he's just like, there's like going to be a period of like 5 days of mourning for very specific reasons. It's really fun and well written. And he's like, but you had to stay here, Jen, and make sure that they stick to that. Otherwise this place is going to erupt. Yeah. Right. Like there has to be a show of force here. And he's like, she's like, are you going to make it back in 5 days? And like the caption box says, he did not make it back. And I was like, I'm in.
Yeah,
I'm in.
That's cool.
For those who are wondering, yes, Star-Lord is in this. Nova is in this.
Yeah, well, the cover suggests that Nova's dead, so that's a shame.
No.
Good, okay, because I like Nova, and it took a long time and a lot of effort to bring back Richard Rider.
Yep, Richard is here, being thrust into this, like, kind of like not. He didn't really necessarily want to.
He didn't want to be in Annihilation either.
But he's there. You know, we get Hulkling is there. We get Xandra. You know, Xavier's daughter is in this. Like, there's so much going on. We get the horse people.
Yeah,
I was like, there's horse people. They have hands though, so I guess they can count on their fingers, or they can clap their hooves to count.
Yeah,
it's entirely up to them.
They have hands. We've seen them in a lot of big wide shots of Marvel.
I'm just saying, like, you know, they can be like 1,
yeah,
2,
they
3,
count.
They can be like 1, 2,
no, they
3.
do it anyway. It's like a
it's a cultural thing.
Yeah, it's a cultural thing.
Just great stuff.
I'm glad you like it.
I like this way more than I thought I was going to. I was going to read it. I was going to give it a try. You know, go somewhere outside of what I normally would read. Again, the Hickman of it is not outside of what I would normally read, but the subject is definitely a little more outside of what I might normally pick up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I can't get over how stunning the art is here. You get some like super, like, in my opinion, classic looking panels.
Yep, that's for
comics where it's like, here's a character, and then like
all the aliens.
Yeah, like, and they're looking at them, and then you gotta like zoom in and see what you can like pick out. Very classic comics in terms of that. I recommend this, highly recommend this book if you were on the fence about picking it up because maybe you didn't jump in with Gods. This is not quite
Gods.
This is not Gods. This is a very different tone. And we're definitely making up a lot less crap.
Yeah.
Like, this is more just a tight, like I said, political thriller, murder mystery set against cosmology, and you throw a Hulk in the middle of it.
Sweet.
And by one Hulk, I mean 3 Hulks.
That's not bad.
Come on.
And we killed one off panel.
Well, that's 4 Hulks.
I know.
Then. And we killed one off panel.
Not bad. That's great. I'm glad to hear it.
I really, really like this book.
Well, I checked out Ultimate Spider-Man Incursion.
I took a peek at it as well.
Oh, good. Okay. So yeah, this was the big one. This is the one where everyone's talking about, like, this is the big story of seeing the 616 interact with the 6160 universe.
Right.
It's written by Cody Ziegler and Dennis Camp with art by Jonas Scharf. And it is exactly what it implies. I mean, we see the aftermath of the Maker giving Miles the card. We see a check-in with Miles, which, if you're not reading the Miles Morales Spider-Man series, which is also being written by Cody Ziegler, that is, I think, the inclusion of Ziegler is to maintain the consistent voice that has been built for Miles, because I can imagine a slew of people who don't read the Miles Morales book being like, who's the dude in the Spider-Man suit that is not Miles Morales? And it's like, oh no, that is Miles. He has a different suit. He has a daughter, and he has a sister too. Like, there's a lot of other stuff that, like, people have just missed because, you know, maybe they're not reading the book.
Right.
But Ziegler has done a Herculean effort of, like, establishing Miles as a very different, or at the very least unique character from what you know or knew them to be previously, like from the Bendis period to now. So this Miles is very different from what you would expect from the from Bendis or any of the Spider-Man crossovers.
Yeah.
So anyway, Miles's sister is accidentally transported to the new Ultimate Universe.
Oops.
Miles follows suit, and he runs into some Spider-Man, which spoils whatever we're doing with the new Spider-Man series, because both Peter and Richard are swinging around the city, Richard being in his black Picotech suit. Miles bumps into them almost immediately, and the three of them go swinging around looking for Miles's sister. They don't find her, and then they bail. The real interesting phenomenon for me is that this was the first test of the Ultimate Spider-Man book, and these characters being written by someone else. You know, and Spider-Man is an interesting character because, you know, his creators only wrote so many issues, and the character has been written by so many people, and yet can still be pretty consistent and be understood to be consistent. Do Camp and Ziegler deliver a Ultimate Peter or Richard as consistently or even authentically as they are in Ultimate Spider-Man? And they don't.
No, this struck me as, and I don't mean any insult to literally anyone.
No.
But this issue in particular struck me as a volley to be the loudest voice in the room to let the rest of the books know who's in charge. And I didn't love that because it just felt like, and hear me out as to why I feel like this. First of all, I felt like the relationship between Peter and Richard was very different.
Yes.
And that could be a result of a couple of things. It could be where they end up,
or just interpretation.
Or it could be also they're just not paying attention. They don't care. The people who are writing this right now, obviously, when you are doing a crossover, whoever the character is that you are that you like the most, or you are the writer for, you are going to make them shine.
Yes.
And so that means the other characters may have to act out of character for that to work. And so, like, there's a point where, like, you know, it's like very late at night. They've just dealt with the villain. And then, like, Peter's like, why don't you just come back to our place and blah, blah, blah.
Crash.
And like Miles like turns around and is just like, what are you, crazy? Like my 11-month-old sister is out there, blah, 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 blah. Now, like, Peter says that out of a place of love, right? But like Miles has to react like he's like, you're an idiot. And Peter has to react like, oh, I guess I am, in a way where I'm like, no, like you're looking over the entire city for a baby, basically.
And she isn't even in it.
Like,
so yeah.
And then, but hang on. But the other thing that I noted too was that, like, in the, like, here's like the villains of the world and like what we're going to be seeing going forward in the, like, Rasputin household.
Yes.
Ileana is the main.
Right.
Where in Ultimate Wolverine, Colossus is the main.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh, did you not like that? Is that something that's going to happen? Are we supposed to, like, I just, like, I can't tell if you're just trying to shout louder than everyone else to establish what you want to have happen, because maybe people are only reading the Dennis Camp stuff.
Yeah.
And so then for them, that is what's happening.
Right.
versus like if you're reading everything else like I am, where I'm like reading the stories being told by the creators themselves, where I'm like, well, no, but this is what is actually happening. I didn't love this, and I'm not placing the blame on Ziegler whatsoever. No, I think Ziegler was like, Miles, I'm here. Miles is my guy.
I'm here to show you Miles.
I want to write for Miles, and I like to keep his voice consistent. I think it's a great idea. I do think Camp has a very specific view on this universe and wants his version of it.
And I think we're only going to get it going forward. But it is very apparent that, at least to me, we are advancing the timeline on everything.
Yeah.
Like everything has to be advanced quickly.
Sure.
And the thing about the Wolverine book, it's felt here too, where it's like no time.
Yeah.
We're wrapping up or we're going in another direction. I remember when they announced that they were like, oh, we're doing an incursion, like it's gonna happen, like Miles is coming to the main universe or the Ultimate Universe. We're gonna see a crossover between those two universes. And people are kind of like, really already? And it's like, it's been a while. It's been a while.
Yeah.
It's not too out of the ordinary, but it still doesn't feel ready or earned because the Ultimates are still like trying to figure out who they are, and Spider-Man and company are still figuring out what they're doing, and the X-Men are still not connected in any way, and Black Panther's also not anywhere near this thing.
Out of all of them, potentially, like what Peach Momoko is doing, I could see her being able to, whenever they're ready,
just bring them in.
She's ready.
Yes.
She has really, I think she's very good at keeping on task. And I think she has been keeping on task. I also do think that Black Panther is in a similar position.
Yeah.
Where we have brought to light the larger enemy, and like we're going to be.
Yeah. And if we need him to pop into the next thing, we
100%. And that's absolutely fine. It really just came down to I don't know what this served to do.
I don't either. I don't really understand like the direction, but I also found it interesting. Like this is one of the things that was really frustrating for me was like Miles set against Ultimate Spider-Man in this world was Miles is great.
Yeah.
And he's fun and cool. And you guys are stupid. But Richard understands that Miles is awesome and cool. And you're not important. Neither of you. Like this Ultimate Spider-Man book is like, this might as well have been called Ultimate Incursion, because Miles is like, you feel like Miles is writing off the Spider-Man characters in favor of the more important characters that will do things in this universe. Where he's like, okay, we got it. We did it. We did the thing. They met the Spider people and they're not going to help me find my sister. So bye. And then immediately goes and meets up with, or rather is kidnapped by the Ultimates,
right?
Or rather is the next thing is the Ultimates. The next thing is his inclusion with the Ultimates. And I don't think we're going to see any more Spider-Man
right
from the Ultimate Universe in this incursion event.
Right. And like think about this. Peach Momoko, very distinct way in which she's writing her characters.
Yes.
How do you think that's going to go?
Oh my God. Not.
And like Brian Hill's Black Panther for me is so tight. It's so well written. It's so like just a stunning story. I just don't know if Camp has the idea of the other voice in his head. I think it's just, I'm just gonna do whatever I want. They're just gonna do whatever I need them to do. And I think like one issue in, it's maybe a little difficult to tell if it's just trying to get the other spider characters out of the way of Miles.
Yes.
I think what also didn't help was like Sharf's art was like great at times, and when it wasn't great, it was not. It really wasn't very strong.
For me, it was just an odd choice. It wasn't like that his art didn't work. It didn't work for the story, but I don't think it's that he failed this book. It's that the book failed him because the book itself is trying to do a lot of things, most of which is kind of foggy. And this art does not strike a tone that demonstrates the direction of this book. Like, I don't know what to feel or think when I look at this.
Right. That's
and the
fair.
art makes it very like confusing and muddy. Like, is this supposed to be like a gritty indie book? Is this supposed to be a funny, fun superhero book? The art is, again, just too inconsistent to make any kind of heads or tails about a direction.
It was, and like what really like gave me that, like sold me on that, was how Richard look like a completely grown adult, which again, technically the suit could make him look like that, but I don't think it was thinking the suit was doing that. I think it was just, I'm just going to draw. Like, we talked about this a million times. It's really hard to depict like a teenager.
Yes.
Sometimes, especially if you're used to drawing adults, like I'm not gonna like be like, oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, that was the type of thing where I was like, but Richard is a boy.
Right. Yeah. He's 14.
Yeah.
I know, but that's everyone has a problem with that. It's not this guy's problem.
No.
It was just, yeah. And then there's a funny Venom reference, and okay. Here's
the thing. I am glad that like Camp brought in someone who was like the person who was writing Miles.
Yeah.
So that at least there was consistency from there,
yes.
from that side of it. The interesting part is that there just isn't consistency from the Ultimate side of it.
No.
If you're reading Miles and you come to this book, Miles probably acts like Miles would act.
And that's great. Like,
and that's
good
awesome
for you.
But if you were reading Ultimate and you come to this book, you're like,
who are these fucking
don't
people?
act like anything like the people I've been reading.
That's the real problem. Is that like Miles may be totally consistent, as you said, but Peter and Richard are not.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't understand how you could miss that.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's a pass, but that's it. So what's your book of the week?
Oh, this just got real.
I know.
This got really real. Oh crap. Because because in my head I'm like, well, obviously I want it to be Godzilla, but it's Imperial.
Yeah.
It has to be Imperial. This was so good. All 50 something pages of this book was just phenomenal. It has to be Imperial.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like I do want to give it to Godzilla because Godzilla, yay. I was so excited for this book. I didn't know it was going to come out against Imperial. I didn't know I was going to love Imperial as much as I did.
Yeah,
but yeah, Imperial. Great
That's
stuff.
funny. And I didn't read it, so I can't agree.
Know.
But I will say that there were a lot of great books. I'm going to give it to Ultimate Wolverine. I think it was a really well,
I'm surprised you didn't give it to Storm.
Yeah, Storm was great. But I understand why it might be kind of tough to get into. This book looked great, and I enjoyed looking at it the whole time.
I enjoyed looking at the art.
Yes, I enjoyed looking at the art. And that's all I have to say about that. So getting into some super chats before we recommend books that are coming out this week.
Love this.
Derpy is a Derp says, "Hey guys."
Thank you.
What?
It's a very nice super chat. Thank
you. Thank you very much for your generosity. Hey guys, haven't caught the show in a while. Went to a small local convention called QuadCon and got some comics. Picked up Superman: The Dark Side after loving the back issues on it.
Nice.
And got DK2 to read some Insanity. Well, I'm glad you liked it.
You got to balance it out.
And it's important to have those in your collection. So I'm glad you dug it, man.
Hey, you with the face said we're a little bit closer to Predators versus Pirates.
We are indeed. We're always just that much closer.
We're one gangplank away.
That's right. Logie is a unicorn, been having a hard time recently, and y'all's videos always make everything a little bit better. Thank you for being you. Thank you, Logie, for watching.
Thank you so much,
man.
and I hope things are getting better.
Yeah, same.
Abraham Bowen says, "Hey, ComicPop, I hope you guys are well. I've got some cool news. My letter made it into the latest issue of Amazing Spider-Man,
nice.
A 69th issue. Lol. Have you guys ever shared a similar experience?"
No, I've sent letters to comics, but I've never had my letter read or printed in a comic book.
I've never sent a letter.
Yeah. Dex Baker, gotta go, but I'll catch the replay. A late HBD to happy birthday, Sal, and RIP Vanny.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bryce Harriet saying, "Hello, I finally read King's Black Canary, and it's perfect. You have convinced me. Predator Killer of Killers is going to be my first Predator movie.
You're gonna love it.
Nice.
Somber Shadow 001. Hey guys, hope you guys are having a good day. I know yesterday must have been difficult. Sending love. Thank you very much, Somber Shadow. Appreciate it.
Thank you. New Doc Prime saying, "What do you think of Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls?" I have actually not seen the trailer.
You haven't seen the trailer?
No.
You haven't seen anything from it?
I haven't.
It looks great, but I
haven't seen anything of it.
I'm not good at fighting games, so I couldn't be.
I'm also
excited.
not very good at fighting games, but whatever.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll try.
JMV900, I like to pretend that GL Earth 1 is actually Absolute GL series. Ewing is hit or miss for me, while I'm just not feeling it. Absolute Superman feels cold to me. I have no real emotional connection to the character. Aaron focused so much on world building. I just don't love it. And Incursion reminded me of Ultimate Fantastic Four if it wasn't zombies and an actual 616 crossover gone poorly. Felt like it came out of nowhere and didn't line up. Fair enough.
Very fair. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Hulkzilla saying, "I am glad you both enjoyed Imperial and Godzilla versus everyone else. The 2 radioactive Goliaths are doing quite well, and I'm quite content with that. I agree.
You should also point out that Godzilla is eating well as well. If you're not a Godzilla fan, IDW's
1000%. IDW
Kaisei era.
Yes, IDW is definitely showing some serious love to Godzilla. So if you are a Godzilla fan, definitely go and check out what IDW is serving up from their line of there's more than one Godzilla book. That's what I'm saying. Like, you are eating well. There is going to be a Godzilla book that you're probably going to like.
Yes, that's right. And a vast majority of them are also interconnected and part of the same universe. So it's really fun to check out. Let's see here. El Raro says, thoughts on the current Secret Six book. I'm loving it, specifically with how many messy Catman and Deadshots there are.
With how many?
How messy Catman and Deadshot are. I have not. Sorry to say.
That was so funny how we both wanted to put many in there. What the heck?
I don't know. And coming out this week, there are some books that we are excited to check out. For one thing, Absolute Batman #9, the debut of Ultimate Bane, is dropping.
Oh boy. Ultimate X-Men #16 is coming out. I'm excited.
Yep.
So is Ultimate Black Panther. Great week for me.
Yeah.
One World Under Doom #5. I really like this book.
Yeah.
I like this series. I can't wait to see where this is going. Hope we're going to watch Doom potentially team up with the Avengers fully.
That's true. Yeah. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #9 is dropping. As I mentioned before, it's a really solid issue. It's definitely worth checking out. Let's see. Oh, man. My favorite book, Batman Dark Patterns #7 is coming out. Love this series. I can't wait to check it out. I will be reading it with great interest. I got to check out this book, Death of Silver Surfer from Greg Pak and Sumit Kumar. They're killing off Silver Surfer to get people to watch the Fantastic Four movie somehow. I don't know why they think this will work, but the art's great.
Fantastic cover.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Silver Surfer lends himself to like really good looking art house stuff.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
I'm also probably going to check out the new Avengers #1. This was originally billed as a Thunderbolts book, but then after the Thunderbolts made their reveal of the title change, this book did as well. It's a new Avengers book. I've been suggesting they do this forever.
You'll have to tell me how the roster works out, because I really liked where they left Namor.
Yes.
Namor.
But now it's Namor with Carnage and Clea and characters from the movie.
And Laura.
Yep. Sam Humphries. It'll be fun, hopefully.
Yeah, why not, right?
Right. There is going to be a book called Giant Size Spider-Man #1 coming out from several different writers, including Kevin Smith. It's got a great Greg Capullo cover, which mostly features other characters than Spider-Man. It'll have writers like Al Ewing, Chip Zdarsky, and
Mitsuyasu Sakai.
Thank you very much. I'm going to read this with great interest.
Love this.
Yep.
Love this for you.
Thank you.
I just wanted to see who's doing this.
Yep.
Oh.
Yes.
Interesting. I didn't know Jeff Lemire was writing a Batman and Robin book.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'm going to read that.
Robin and Batman. This is the Jason Todd book.
Oh, sorry. Was it Robin and Batman?
It's called Robin and Batman.
And I said it the other way around.
Oh, I cannot wait for Tiffany to read Trinity, Daughter of Wonder Woman #1.
Why me?
This is the Corgis book. It's got art by Belen Ortega with writing by Tom King. This is
okay.
3 different. I think it's at least 2 or 3 different eras of Lizzie traveling through time and the multiverse to capture John and Damien, who've been turned into corgis. And so you'll see some, if you haven't already checked out the conversation between myself and Tom King about this very book. It's the most recent episode of Tom King's interview series that he's done on this channel. Check it out if you haven't already. But he teases what eras you go to.
Okay.
And there may be an issue in this series where Lizzie goes to the Batman wedding that didn't happen.
What? That's wild.
Yeah.
Okay.
So keep an eye out.
Yeah, I'm going to read that.
But I think you're going to love the first issue.
Okay. I'm fine with this.
No question about it. I've seen the preview and it's going to be great.
Oh, if you like, we were mentioned last time that DC had an anthology celebrating Pride Month. Marvel's is coming out this week. It'll be Marvel United #1, a Pride special with a ton of writers, including Al Ewing, who we were just talking about. So yes. I feel like Al's everywhere. Maybe that's the problem.
Yeah, maybe he's just being overextended.
Maybe he's just like overextended right now, and it's just like a little too much. Maybe he just needs to roll it back a little. I don't know. Interesting week next week in terms of books.
It's true.
And by next week, I mean this week.
This week.
Next week's show. But I mean, listen, I'm excited. I love Ultimate Black Panther. I love Ultimate X-Men.
Yeah.
Very excited.
I agree. And finally,
Jim Woodard says, Godzilla's always been my favorite kaiju. I buy most of the crossovers with him. Glad this one is not a dud.
Me too.
Yeah.
Well, then you must be enjoying the Marvel ones too, because those things are really, really fun.
Yeah, I will say though, like having a full series, like the one,
yes, like with the Justice
DC,
League.
Yeah, it's you can get a little more into it.
Yeah.
And of course, you get to have fun with it. You get to have a giant king shark.
Yeah.
Why not?
Exactly. I want to thank Amanda Connor and Jimmy Palmiotti for coming by the show and chatting with us about Elvira crossing over with Harley Quinn coming out this August. It's a 6-issue miniseries from Dynamite Entertainment. Check that out if you haven't already. Of course, I want to thank IDW for giving me a chance to crack at the Ninja Turtles book that's coming out this Wednesday, Ninja Turtles #9 on sale this Wednesday. And of course, their Kaisei universe of Godzilla series that you must check out from IDW if you are interested in interconnected universes and or Godzilla or the fallout thereof. If you like Godzilla,
and if you like both, I mean,
yeah, if you liked
interconnected universes and Godzilla, come on.
So true, so true. I want to thank my amazing and talented wife Tiffany for being the co-host on this show. Thank you so much for being here and committing your time and effort to this show.
And I will watch the Marvel Tokon trailer. I just haven't.
Maybe you'll watch it on the stream, which you do on youtube.com/ComicPop plays or twitch.tv/ComicPop, typically Tuesdays and Wednesdays, but not this Wednesday.
No, it'll probably be a Thursday.
That's right. But if you want to check out Tiffany playing video games, you can do so on those channels as well. If you're looking to check those out, you don't really want to listen to me say that again, just click the description below this video and check out every link for everything that we do down there. If you want to help us more directly, you can go to patreon.com/ComicPop and sometimes get early access to back issues when I have a backlog ready. Don't right now, so it's kind of up in the air, but you can check out our new podcast, No Comic Required, which is available early access right now on the channel or on that Patreon page. Maybe there's even a bonus feature or two. There's a whole 30-minute deleted sequences from that episode that is available only for patrons. But thank you so much for hanging out with us, and thank you to our super chatters for sponsoring today's show. We'll see you guys next time with another episode of Off the Rack. I'm Sal.
And I'm Tiffany.
So long, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.